I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Please welcome 4ButtonSoul. Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going great. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
My name is 4ButtonSoul. I am a member of Oyaji Club Generation 1. It's the second generation of Oyaji Club. I am a Bishonen boyfriend VTuber. I play a lot of difficult games. My focus recently has been on Souls-likes and Metroidvanias, although I got my start with JRPGs, which streaming JRPGs can be pretty challenging in itself.
Yeah, well, it certainly can. And as you can tell, it is not your computer. 4ButtonSoul does not operate in the treble clef. That is the voice. It's very, very low indeed.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. So that's quite an instrument you've got there.
Thank you. Thank you.
So when did you get started with streaming and VTubing?
So I kind of started streaming sort of off and on many, many moons ago, and it was only sort of pandemic time. So we're talking 2019, like late 2019, early 2020, when everyone in the UK was kind of sitting at home looking for stuff to do. I was like, oh yeah, I used to stream a little bit. I guess I could do some more of that. And then I stumbled across several other VTubers that had been in sort of circles that I had run with on Twitter. And I ran into the wonderful Marta's Corner, who is a huge inspiration. Marta and another VTuber by the name of Action Points. They're both sort of an inspiration for me getting started with VTubing.
Mm-hmm. And was it easy for you to pick up the mic and go, or as a VTuber character based on what you'd already done a little bit streaming?
Yeah, I didn't really find too much difficulty in it. I mean, I've done a little bit of podcasting in the past, and there's been a few other projects that I've worked on where I can just kind of get up and go and start talking into a microphone, and you know, those first few sort of weeks, months, it is just kind of talking into a microphone and waiting for the chatters to arrive, and you know, you build up a bit of a talent for just kind of chatting with yourself for a period of time there.
We called it in radio talking in circles. You say something that's about a minute long, and then you say it in a different way for another minute. Usually when we were trying we used to have the news would come right at the 00 top of the hour, and the song would end with like a minute and a half until the top of the hour. So you had to fill that with yourself between then to try to get there. And it's 35 degrees and time for news. Ding! To do that, but
it was like that. But it was you know, it was like an hour of that.
Yes, yeah.
To start with.
Yeah, you get to hear your own voice a lot when you
certainly do.
So the games that you play, mostly what type of games are you playing right now?
So at the moment, it's been a lot of sort of more challenging games. I've got really into the FromSoft games, so that's Dark Souls, Elden Ring, a lot of stuff like that. But I've been branching out a little bit with more Metroidvania type games, so games that are more like Metroid or Castlevania. You know, you have a very similar game loop, like a gameplay loop in those games where you're just kind of going somewhere, grabbing an item that'll let you go somewhere else, and you know, you fight a boss and then move on to the next area. And I found that a lot of the time with streaming, when I first started out especially, it was a case of just kind of playing games that I wanted to play, and now it's like finding games that I think chat might enjoy, and you know, I'm picking up stuff here and there, and you know, we're doing the streamer bait, and we're doing like Phasmophobia, and we're doing Repo, and we're doing stuff like that. But for the most part, the main focus has been on sort of the more challenging games recently.
Yeah. So how much of a change is it for you to go from one of those challenge games to something like Repo, where the there is kind of a plot line?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, the good thing with the games like Repo and Phasmophobia, you have those are games that you can play with a group, and you can kind of bounce off of everyone. We did a big 6-man Oyaji Club Marvel Rivals stream recently, and
Well,
it's a little chaotic, but it's everyone's kind of bouncing off each other, and that's one of the great things about the group is that it's brought together some very similar people
mm,
and people with like lots of differences too. So we were all just kind of constantly seeing things differently and just like bouncing off each other. And it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
yeah. So tell me a little about the Oyaji Club. How many people are in it right now?
Oh, you're testing my knowledge here. Let me,
Yeah, just
I
generally,
think, we have so Generation Zero would be Mada, Nacho, Dawn, Tofu, and Gwen,
Uh-huh.
which is 5, and then the Generation One is myself, Caddy, Madam Dowager, Ice Fox, Aka, and Kankaro. So there's about 11, 12 of us, I think, in the club right now.
Yeah, we're gonna have more coming up,
And
by the way, in interviews. We are working towards those
yes,
goals.
yes.
Um, so what was the pitch to get you in, or did you seek to get in?
So I had a little bit of an in to start with, as I was already regularly streaming with Marta and Tofu, and when it came about and they started pushing for a new generation, I was kind of like, I'm in, I'm in. I'm in. It was like I was down for the cause straight away. Like it was such a at the time unique idea to bring together, like, because we were all the older guys. We were all, I'm 37, and I'm doing this now, and it's nice to find people with like similar age and sort of a similar background in video games as well.
You're not even old enough to be my little brother, so you're still young. Um, but people have to realize too that just because everybody's not teenagers or in their early 20s doesn't mean they don't know video games, for crying out loud. I mean, my
Oh, of
generation
course.
my generation pumped in a lot of quarters. I mean, we were the OGs when it came to that stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now maybe we don't can't keep up with you guys now on that stuff. That takes a lot of skill and training and hand-eye coordination, which I've never had in my life. So a lot of those games I'm not going to be playing. But um, being able to have a group of folks that are kind of like-minded in a way, and being able to keep them together for a period of time, it's not always easy to do.
No, no. It's like running a band.
Yeah, yeah, and the bass player keeps leaving.
Well, this bass player will stick around.
Yeah, it's what in the old I used to hang around Champaign, Illinois, back in the '80s, um,
Uh,
and that was a pretty nice place for music back then. We had a lot of bands come through there, and the local bands would have like one bass player in about 5 bands at the same time. They try to get booked in the same place so the bass player didn't have to go anywhere. That's why I refer to it that way. But the um, has that made it a lot easier for you to do collaborations, or were you able to bring them in before that? And what to you is a qualification to be a good collaboration partner?
So I think before Oyaji Club, I did have a handful of collaborations. Obviously, I had experience with Mada and Tofu before,
Hmm.
but there were a few others where I would join collabs, and usually sort of extended. I'm quite introverted in my real life, so it's a little difficult for me to just kind of up and ask people. I'm always like, oh man, am I bothering them? Like I'm sure they don't need me messaging them, asking them if they want to come and play video games with me. So with the Oyaji Club, that's actually made the whole like process of finding collab partners so much easier as well. But then there's sort of an extended Oyaji verse where there's other people that are friends with the people that we've added to the club that have sort of come in, and people are doing collabs with them, and like Aka brings people in, and Kankro brings people, and Caddy's always bringing people in, and it's good to see. Like it's such a nice feeling whenever you see a friend of a friend reach out to that friend of a friend, and they're working together on something, and it's just, it gives you the warm fuzzies inside.
Yeah, yeah. Without this particular uh, medium, where would you find that? It's.
Well,
I mean, you wouldn't find it in the old chat days with text being flying everywhere. Um, you don't quite have quite the same experience as you do now with it. And before that, you just forget about it. You'd be a pen pal or something. That was about the only way to do it. One of the great things about this particular medium is the fact that you do get to meet people, not just in your area that you didn't know were there before, but around the world. Have you been able to pick up some audience away from where you're at?
oh yeah, I mean, my UK audience is actually much more limited than my worldwide audience. So
Mm.
it's I have a handful of people based in the UK that watch, and then I have people all over. Really, I have people sort of east of here. I have people all over Europe. I have people in South America come and watch. People in South Africa come and view. There's they're looking at the old Twitch metrics, you see
Mhm.
all kinds of countries that you didn't think you would see people viewing you from, and
Yeah.
it's been real nice to just kind of make the world a slightly smaller place with my streams.
Oh, it's so small now. I talk all the time about when I first started in radio in the '80s. If I wanted to speak to, like the other day, I interviewed someone in Singapore. If I wanted to do that
Wow.
on the radio, first of all, I'd have to do that on the telephone, which would have cost approximately the national debt, because it cost extra to call the next town in those days. Um,
Yeah.
and then it would have been through about 70 different plugs of operators across the ocean, and it would have sounded like garbage. And it certainly wouldn't be worth being fired over, which I would have been immediately. Um, but now I can just pick up the microphone and I'm talking to you from several thousand miles away. Uh,
Exactly.
for an old man like myself, that's pretty amazing. Uh, it really does. It makes the world so small, but it does also bring out a lot of things, and we get to hear from so many different people and their talents and such.
Yeah.
We get to enjoy watching and listening along with you. Uh, playing one of your games and streaming, or someone else from Oyaji Club, or somebody from the Philippines or that sort of thing, and we get
Yeah.
to bring them into our lives in an extended way. Have you kind of has that kind of hit you every once in a while, realizing that somebody maybe standing upside down from you on the other side of the planet is tuning into you every time?
Every so often, yeah, like it will just kind of hit, and then someone will mention something in the chat or something like that, and it'll just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just heading down to Hungry Jack's to get something for dinner," and it's like, "Wait, Hungry Jack's? That's Australia's Burger King," and you're just and you're just like, "Oh wow, you guys are really far out." Like I've had people from all over, and just yeah, every so often it will just hit you right in the face with something like that, and it's just even in the US, like I've had American friends kind of go Oh, I'm just going to Bojangles, and they're in the north and they're
Yeah,
in the south, and
yeah,
it's even there you have like these people that are maybe 500 miles apart, like united through the medium of Twitch.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I've had a few situations when we had our winter here where it was 10 degrees outside, and I'm interviewing someone in Chile, and it's summer there. Like, oh
Not so
yeah,
chilly there.
it was really hot here. We were up to 88 degrees. I'm like, yeah, yeah, shut up. In the meantime, I've got 6 sweatshirts on in the radio room here. But it's to be able to bring all that together. When you started with your getting back into it with the VTubing, did you really have a goal as far as followers were concerned, or were you just at it for fun in the first place?
In the first place, it's all. I mean, in all honesty, the main reason that I got into VTubing and streaming was to play video games
Mm.
because I've got a gigantic Steam backlog, and I will come home from work, sit in front of my computer, scroll through the social media sites, and then not play any video games. And it was getting to a point where I was like, I've got 1,000 games on Steam. I
Oh,
would like to maybe play some of these games.
mm.
So I was just like, you know what? We're just going to throw the stream on. I'm going to play whatever. And at the time, it was, I think, The Vagrant was the first game I streamed on Twitch,
Mm.
which is a fantastic Metroidvania, beautiful hand drawn.
Mm.
And I got through it because it was just like, chat wasn't busy, but there were occasional people and they were like,
Yeah,
oh, you could go this way and do
yeah.
this. And doing that actually helped me get through playing multiple games. And, I'm playing through like 20 plus games a year now. So we've moved on a lot since those humble beginnings.
In another 50 years, you'll caught up with you. The
Yeah,
backlog.
yeah.
That's okay. They'll be in line for that age. I'll still be doing this too, probably in about 50 years. It'll sound a lot different though. It'll be like, huh? Um, the 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 backlog of games tells me that you have so much to choose from. That are you even looking toward new games that are coming out, or are you much more rather to look back on what you've already purchased?
Yeah, the main problem is Steam sales. I
Yeah,
mean, as soon as those Steam sales hit and it's anything new, I'm just like, oh, that's cheap, and then it just gets added to the backlog.
yeah.
But I pick up new games periodically. I mean, we've had a real like gulf between some of the games that I finished this year so far. So I finished a game called Armed and Dangerous, which I believe came out sometime in the late 90s.
Mhm.
And I also have finished Nine Souls, which came out last year.
Oh,
So,
yeah. So,
we're,
so it's
yeah.
what catches your eye when you're looking at a game to stream?
When it comes to games that I want to stream, sometimes it's, sometimes, like I said before, sometimes it's the streamer bait. Sometimes it's the stuff that everyone else is playing.
Mhm.
And then sometimes it's just something that I am interested in. Nine Souls, for example, this year was one that I had seen from a few other content creators, and I was just like, I was sold straight away. I was like, it's this beautiful side-scrolling Metroidvania with Sekiro style combat, and it just plays beautifully. It looks beautiful. The story's amazing, and I was just straight away sold on that. But then other times it's just like, oh, I'll just throw Marvel Snap on for 4 hours and just chat with chat, and
Yeah,
we'll have song requests on, and everything will be really chill.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, with some of those games, I imagine it's kind of tough to keep chat involved, especially if you've got no chance to pause, even put up a menu screen. You've got to keep hacking, otherwise you're going to keep dying. Um, how do you handle those situations?
I usually die. Like I will look at chat and die, and then and then I will engage chat that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
but you know, in the heat of the moment, it's often I will be sort of narrating as I'm going, so I'll just be like, oh, well, I need to block here, and I need to do this, and I'm going to do this, and then this will happen, and I'm just kind of narrating as I go,
Mm,
with a lot of boss fights, especially.
yeah.
But more often than not, I will just look over at chat and just die.
It's time to die. Then it's fall over. The channel as it's going now, are you satisfied with the progress? Are you further than you thought you'd be, or again, I mean, you didn't really start off with a goal. Have you set goals?
Um, I mean, at this point in time, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at with the channel. You know, we're picking up followers here and there, and you know, we're networking a little bit. We're seeing new people all the time, and it's nice that people are coming back and chatting,
Mm,
more than anything.
mm,
As far as like goals, you know, I would love to pick up like 100 followers every year. That would be enough for me, as long as I'm playing games I enjoy, and as long as chat's being engaging, and like everyone's just kind of coming in and chilling, and like one of the things that I always tell my IRL friends whenever they ask about streaming, it's like, why do you do it? And I'm like, well, because sometimes someone will just come in and talk about their day in the chat, and like I will, you know, I want to be an outlet for people. Like I want people to come in and just kind of chill out and then vent a little bit, and then just, you know, chat with. It's in the name, chat. I want people to just chat.
yeah, yeah. And come in and you become that kind of a safe place for them. That channel does.
Yeah.
Um, when you watched, or if you're still watching, um, VTubers, is that what you're looking for when you look for or are you looking for ideas to steal, which is perfectly fine, by the way, or are you looking for a place to kind of settle in?
A little bit of both, I would say. You know, occasionally I will come across a VTuber that just suits the energy that I'm looking to put out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's someone that's chill, and it's someone that engages with chat, and someone that, you know, someone that plays difficult games as well is always a bonus. So like one of my favorites at the moment is Duke Silver, amazing Scottish VTuber. Well, half VTuber, half not VTuber. So you see his face regularly, but his whole streams are just very very chill. And even though he's playing very difficult games, he, you know, he still keeps it chill. He's very good with chat. He shouts out all the streamers that come into chat, and it's one of the things that I love about some streamers. You know, they'll just shout people out because they like their content and stuff like that. So it's just, that's the kind of vibe that I want to give off whenever someone comes into my stream. So yeah, I will look for people that are chill, people that play challenging games, and then just occasionally I'll be sort of, I'll get drawn into one of the larger VTubers, and I'll just be like, "Oh, that's a cool idea. Maybe we can do something with that."
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it's and you can put your own spin on things too. It's
Yeah,
depending on. I'd like to do this type of, I don't know, a tier list thing, but I'll do it with this, or some sort of where the audience chooses the game that you play, that sort of thing, and
yeah.
you have a list of games and a poll to do. Um, with the games that you have in stock, is there a game that you always get? It always catches your eye, but you put off like, oh, not this time, maybe next time.
Oh, I have whole uh, a whole section in my Steam list of shelved games
Yeah.
that I have either started and not decided to do anything with, or installed and then uninstalled before I got to.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's a bunch there. So there's always I mean, I've never actually finished Dark Souls 3, so that is kind of on the list for this year.
Yeah.
That is one that I'm definitely looking forward to in the future. And yeah, there's always the allure of new games. That's always the issue that I have is the allure of the new games, even though the backlog is ever looming. But there is always the allure of new games. I would like to play the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, and I think there is a spiritual successor to a game called Rabbi Ruby that I played a little while back. That is another game that I never actually got around to finishing,
Yeah.
but I would love to play this year.
Yeah.
And yeah, the lure of new games is always there.
Yeah. Which one would you say is your comfort game, or do you have a comfort game?
My comfort game, weirdly, is Elden Ring.
Mm.
I will put on Elden Ring and do duels, invasions, like multiplayer stuff, and for some reason it relieves all the stress. I've had many streams where we've just kind of done Elden Ring duels, Elden Ring invasions, and song request is on, and everyone's like chat is just bumping, and it's just a weirdly chill time.
Well, I mean, it's that wouldn't be a game I would think of when it comes to chill games, but I mean, everybody's mileage varies on these sort of things. But you're just so comfortable with it at this point that you do get that relaxation from playing it.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's also a lot of sort of downtime between games with it as well, where it's not necessarily, with invasions they can take time to actually trigger, and the the dueling system isn't the greatest, so it's not very well populated at times.
Mm.
And there are times where it's just, the downtime is there, and you can just kind of talk with chat and go through song request, and oh, I heard this cool song today, I'm going to just throw that onto song request, and there's time there, so it's a little bit easier for me to just chill out, engage with chat, and vibe.
Yeah, yeah, and they're comfortable with it too, and that makes
Yeah.
a huge difference. When you get a game like that and the chat is bouncing around off the walls, um, it kind of gets to where you're trying to corral cats at that point.
Yeah, it certainly
Yeah.
does.
Have you had to come down hard on chat every once in a while, or have they been chill for the most part?
They've been mostly good. Yeah, I think I have a few sort of teasing chatters that come in from time to time that
Yeah.
I know, they're known quantities, so I can just kind of deal with them in the way that they need to be dealt with, and they, they're not the kind of chatter that you ban. They're the kind of chatter that you just kind of, you give as good as you get with them,
Yeah.
and for the most part, they're harmless. They're never actually malicious. It's just like that playful sort of meanness that you would get from a friend more than an actual malicious person.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the most part, chat is very good.
Yeah, they bite, but they don't clamp down.
Yeah. Only ever so often do I have to tell chat to be on their best behavior when we raid into someone else.
Yeah, yeah. And so, what do you think about rating? Will you always look for somebody that you know, and if you don't find somebody you know, what do you do with it?
If we can't find someone we know, occasionally I will ask chat if they have anyone that they would like me to raid, and if no one that I know is available and chat doesn't have any suggestions, I will usually look into the other people playing the same game, and then just raid off into one of those channels. Usually it's any VTuber that happens to be playing the same game as me is usually pretty good to raid into.
Yeah, yeah. You have the audience that's used to it by now, so
Yeah.
hopefully they'll stick around and stick around for that, and then find some hints to give to you later.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it helps you to do this too. So what are your plans for the rest of the year? I mean, do you have any big big events coming up, or are you going to stick to your guns?
I don't think we have any big events planned just yet. I usually try and, I do what I call the not a birthday stream every year. So I will do that on the 20th of September, usually the day before my birthday.
Yeah.
And we'll just do a big stream, and it'll be community stream. So chat will come in and play stuff, and there's usually a theme. So that usually happens, and usually at some point throughout the course of the year, I will find a month that I like the sound of for making it into a specific month for a certain type of game.
Yeah.
So I think last year we did Sonic Tember. So I only played Sonic games throughout the month of September.
Yeah.
It could be anything. We could do May Metroidvania potentially.
Yeah. Banjo Kazooie May. No, it doesn't really work, does it? May doesn't really work for any of them. Was there a game that you would that you would like to play that would surprise somebody who's heard your list so far?
Oh, is there a game I would like to play? You know what? I'm really bad with just sticking to what I know. But occasionally, like, I will pull something weird out. So it could be that I might just throw on something like Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
or Project Coaster, or like any kind of strategy game, because I have like this little thing in the back of my brain that says, yeah, it's time to play a 4X. Like,
it's time to wreck some people on a roller coaster. That's what
yeah,
it says to me.
yeah.
Yeah, there's where they fly off and crash into the ground. Didn't
Just
mean
concentric loops that get smaller and smaller and smaller. That's
yeah. It's the old Sims thing where you try to kill them off as many different times as you want to. And oh, by the way, there's also a game. or Grand Theft Auto, when you get tired of the quests and just start blowing things up.
Yeah.
My wife and I did that for San Andreas. We we had that for the Wii, and we're like, let's just blow things up. Put in the cheat codes and let's go blow it up. It was much more fun at a certain point.
Oh yeah.
So you everything's going along real nice for you right now with the club and everything. Would you if you got the chance to make this into a money making enterprise, as far as get enough to maybe even support yourself in a small way, would you go into that? Would you want to try that?
Oh, absolutely. That is the dream.
Yeah.
I have I have a pretty bad relationship with the 40-hour work week. So
yeah.
It's not for me. It's not for everyone, and it certainly isn't for me. But it's just, yeah. If I could make what I do on stream into a job, I mean, there's been other stuff that has been talked about as well. Obviously, you have to use your God-given talents, and I am regularly told, maybe it's time for you to start doing a little bit of voice work.
Oh yeah.
I have been told this a few times, so that's also on the horizon. Hopefully we'll be getting into something with that in the not too distant future. But yes, if it came down to it, and I was making enough from subscriptions and bits and whatnot on Twitch to support myself, then absolutely I would be stray away as soon as that first paycheck hit.
Well, I mean, really, that instrument of yours is pretty amazing, and
Thank you.
You need to find out to see where that'll take you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of folks who are saying we need somebody with that type of low voice, and you'll get somebody with my voice going, I can't get down that low. There's always somebody who's got that voice. What would you want to do? What would you want to do with it? Would you want to do video game voices or animation or what?
I mean, honestly, I would do, yeah, any of it really, like video games, animation. Like I'm a big anime nerd, so like I would love to do some anime stuff and just animation in general. Like I've always loved cartoons.
Yeah.
Ever since I was growing up, I used to watch Batman the animated series. That was like my favorite thing ever. So I've just always had this draw towards animation and video games, and I would love to put my voice to a few characters.
Yeah, and now you kind of fulfilled a little bit by playing those games in front of an audience.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's something that 10 years ago I'm sure didn't cross your mind.
Oh yeah, definitely not. 10 years ago, I don't think I would have ever dreamed of streaming and chatting with everyone, and yeah, it's been great. It really has.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you coming on, absolutely, and I haven't even got a chance to talk about this. Um, you've been doing some singing.
A little bit of singing, yes. I've done a couple of covers
Yeah,
recently. So
yeah,
I did a cover of Marty Robbins' "Big Iron"
yeah,
from Fallout New Vegas, as
yeah.
everyone loves that song. I also did a little cover of a song by well, I won't say he's lesser known in the UK, but I'm sure he's pretty popular in the US. But I did a cover of a song called "Elephant" by Jason Isbell,
Mm.
which is a song that I absolutely adore. And I just had to put it on, I had to put it into a recording. Like it just, it, but I'm not the greatest guitarist in the world, but that song just is, I found it so simple and so easy to play, and it just rolled off of my hands and my tongue so easily.
Yeah,
So I decided it needed to be recorded.
yeah. Well, folks, so those will be up on the YouTube site, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, they're up on YouTube.
yeah. So we're gonna have all those links in the description for this video. 4ButtonSoul, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure
Oh, thank
talking
you for
with you.
having me.
And I wish you the best, and really get that voice out there, and let's hear it on some things.
Thank you.
Get that.
Appreciate that.
You can blow out the speakers all over across Europe and the United States. It's great talking with you. Thanks again for coming on.
Yeah. You too. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.